Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next week in our reading through the book We Make the Road by Walking by Brian McLaren. We're really grateful to Brian for letting us do this project this year. I hope you have been enjoying the section that we just finished, section 1, all about the creation and our place in the creation. Today, we're going to move to section 2. We're going to spend the next 14 weeks talking about the life of Jesus. I wanted to read the little preview for this section, and then we'll read our chapter for today. So this section is called Alive in the Adventure of Jesus. It says, in part 1, we explored what it means to be alive in the story of creation. A story that includes crisis, calling, captivity, conquest, and conversation. Into that conversation comes a man named Jesus, a man whose character, words, and example changed history. In part 2, we will explore what it means to be alive in the adventure of Jesus. We begin the story with the story of the birth during the traditional seasons of Advent and Christmas. For us, we will just be doing it. And then we follow him through childhood to adulthood as the light of God shines brightly through him during the season of Epiphany. Our exploration will lead us to this life-changing choices. Will we identify ourselves as honest and sincere followers of Jesus today? Let's see what we find out. So chapter 14 is called Promised Land, Promised Time. And you're going to want to read Daniel chapter 7, verses 9 through 28, Isaiah chapter 40, verses 9 through 11, and Luke chapter 1, verses 67 through 79. Excuse me. To be alive is to desire, to hope, and to dream. And the Bible is a book about desires, hopes, and dreams. The story begins with God's desire for a good and beautiful world of which we are a part. Soon, some of us desire the power to kill, enslave, and oppress others. Enslaved and oppressed people hope for liberation. Wilderness wanderers desire a promised land where they can settle. Settled people dream of a promised time when they won't be torn apart by internal factors, ruled by corrupt elites, or dominated by stronger nations nearby. Desires, hopes, and dreams inspire action, and that's what makes them so different from a wish. Wishing is a substitute for action. Wishing creates a kind of passive optimism that can paralyze people in a happy fog of complacency. Everything will turn out fine. Why work, struggle, sacrifice, or plan? Guess what happens to people who never work, struggle, sacrifice, or plan? Things don't normally turn out the way they wish. In contrast, our desires, hopes, and dreams for the future guide us in how to act now. If a girl hopes to be a doctor someday, she'll study hard and prepare for medical school. If a boy dreams of being a marine biologist someday, he will spend time around the sea and learn to snorkel and scuba dive. Their hope for the future guides them in how to act now. They align their lives by their hope, and in that way, their lives are shaped by hope. Without action, they would be wishing, not hoping. Prophets in the Bible have a fascinating role as custodians of the best hopes, desires, and dreams of their society. They challenge people to act in ways consistent with those hopes, desires, and dreams. When they see people behaving in harmful ways, they warn them by picturing the future to which that harmful behavior will lead. One of the most important prophetic compositions was the book of Isaiah. Most scholars today agree that at least 3 people contributed to the book over a long period of time. But their combined work has traditionally been attributed to one author. The first 39 chapters of Isaiah were situated in the southern kingdom of Judah, just before the northern kingdom of Israel was invaded and colonized by the Assyrians. The prophet saw deep spiritual corruption and complacency among his people and warned them that this kind of behavior would lead to decline and defeat. That defeat came in 587 BC at the hand of the Babylonians. After the invasion, many survivors were taken as exiles to Babylon. Chapters 40 through 55, often called Second Isaiah, addressed those Judean exiles, inspiring hope that they would someday return to their homeland and rebuild it. That soon happened, beginning in 538 BC, under the leadership of Ezra and Nehemiah. That era of rebuilding was the setting for third Isaiah, chapters 56 through 66. For readers in later generations, ingredients from these three different settings blend into one rich recipe for hope, full of imagery that still energizes our imagination today. Let's listen to a few sections. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. That is chapter 2, verse 4. A shoot shall come out of the stump of Jesse, David's father, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. The Spirit of the Lord shall rest on him. The wolf shall live with the lamb. The leopard shall lie down with the kid, the calf and the lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. They will not hurt or destroy on my holy mountain, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. That's chapter 11, verses 1 and 2, and 6 and 9. Here is my servant whom I uphold, my chosen, in whom my soul delights. I have put my spirit whom I uphold. I have put my spirit upon him. He will bring forth justice to the nations. He will not cry or lift up his voice, or make it heard in the street. A bruised reed he will not break, and a dimly burning wick he will not quench. He will faithfully bring forth justice. That's chapter 42, verses 1 through 3. Isaiah's descriptions of that better day were so inspiring that Jesus and his early followers quoted Isaiah more than any other writer. But many other prophets added their own colors to this beautiful vision of hope. In Ezekiel's vision, people's hearts of stone will be replaced with hearts of flesh. For Malachi, the hearts of parents would turn to their children and children to their parents. Joel describes the Spirit of God being poured out on all humanity, young and old, men and women, Jew and Gentile. Amos paints the vivid scene of justice rolling down like a river, filling all the lowest places. And Daniel envisioned the world's beast-like empires of violence being overcome by a simple, unarmed human being, a new generation of humanity. In the centuries between the time of the prophets and the birth of Jesus, these prophetic dreams never completely died, but they were never completely fulfilled either. Yes, conditions for the Jews improved under the Persians, but things still weren't as good as the prophet promised. Next, the Greeks and the Seleucid empires took control of the region, and for a time the Jews threw off their oppressors. But their independence was brief, and the full dream of the prophets remained unfulfilled. Next, the Romans seized power, subjugating and humiliating the Jews and testing their hope as never before. Yet their dream lived on. It remained alive in people like Elizabeth and Zechariah, Mary and Joseph, and Anna and Simeon, and even among humble shepherds who lived at the margins of society. To be alive in the dream of Jesus is to have a desire, a dream, a hope for the future. It is to translate that hope for the future into action in the present, and to keep acting in light of it, no matter the disappointments, no matter the setbacks and delays. So let us begin this Advent season by lighting a candle for the prophets who proclaim their hopes, desires, and dreams. Let us keep their flame glowing strong in our hearts even now. And that is our reading for today. So how about this? Maybe we light candles during these next few sections, just to represent Advent as we're hearing it, even though we're hearing about it after Easter. What a mystery, huh? Life is always a mystery. With that, another mystery, you may think you're seeing Pastor Amy, but you're really seeing her evil twin Skippy, because Pastor Amy is still on vacation. So shh, don't tell anyone. All right, let's have a word of prayer and get you off to your week. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for our start of the journey through Jesus's life, through your son's life, and all that he lived and experienced and taught, and also all that he suffered and died for. Let us take each step of this journey knowing that we are still open to learning from you. Let us continue with the hopes and dreams that the prophets have told about, so that we may also keep those hopes and dreams alive of a world that loves you and lives in perfect harmony. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, dear friends, have a great week. We'll see you next week. Pastor Amy will be back. Bye.